So let's talk about harvest tagging procedures. If you have legally harvested your alligator, before you transport it or remove it, the very first thing for you to do is to tag your alligator with your temporary possession tag. These are orange cards that are attached to your alligator hunting permit and license. They're perforated. You tear them off of your permit. They have little tabs in the center that you pull up, and you insert string, wire, or a zip tie if you want, and you use that to go through the tag and actually attach it to the alligator's leg. We don't want you to attach it to the alligator's tail. Please attach it to one leg. It doesn't matter which one. Your tag should be signed before you put on the alligator. Once you've done that, your alligator is legally tagged and you can transport the alligator. That temporary tag should stay attached to your alligator until you receive the federal CITES export tag from the agency. Now, you'll receive that CITES tag from the agency after you have done your online harvest report. The online harvest report is mandatory. Every alligator that you harvest must be reported within 24 hours after harvest. Very simply, it is done through the online harvest reporting system. You go to the alligator program page, you'll find the link for alligator harvest reporting. From there, you will enter your information. It will pull your customer information up, and it will ask you some survey information and questions, and then you will be allowed to enter the data for the alligators that you have harvested. It takes less than 3 minutes to complete the alligator harvest report and survey. Once you have completed the online harvest report, our agency staff will collect your information, and we will then mail you your CITES export tag to be attached permanently to your alligator until it is processed or mounted otherwise. That CITES tag stands for the Convention of International Trade of Endangered Species. Now, as we mentioned, the alligator is not an endangered species, but because it has a very similar appearance to other endangered and threatened species across the world, these hides, these parts must be identified as to exactly where they were from and what species it is. This tag does that we mail you in the mail. It's a plastic tag, it's a plastic seal tag. You will attach it to your hide about 6 inches from the end of the hide, or if you are not using your hide, you can use it to attach to your skull. Either way, that CITES tag number remains with that alligator skin, any alligator part, the alligator head. All of those parts that you retain from the alligator are associated with that CITES tag number. Even the meat that you retain from the alligator, when you put it in storage in your freezer, the tag number that we send you is the number that should be documented on each of those packages in your possession. If you are a private land permit holder, you also have an online harvest report. You also have mandatory tagging that is required. Your temporary possession tag, again, is attached to your possession permit and your alligator hunting license. They tear off. There's a couple of tabs where you use string and wire or whatever you have. Zip ties can be used to attach that temporary possession tag to the leg of your alligator. Once that temporary possession tag has been attached to the alligator, you may transport the alligator. You may actually leave that alligator in a location to come back and wait for the CITES tag to be mailed to you. You may not transport an alligator out of state and leave it in the possession of anybody else in another state, such as a processor or taxidermist, without the CITES tag. If you wish to store it somewhere with the temporary possession tag, you may do so, but it cannot be left in the possession of somebody else without that CITES tag. The online harvest report is to be completed within 24 hours of harvest, just like on public waterways. Regarding your CITES federal tag that we mail to you, it will be mailed as soon as you complete your alligator harvest report online, which means that usually will be mailed to you within 24 to 48 hours of completing your harvest report. You may also obtain these CITES tags from our MDWFP region offices. One of those is located at Enid. We have one located in Canton, at the Turcotte Field Office off the Ross Bar Reservoir. And we also have a field region office in Magnolia. You may also come to our Central Region office in Jackson to receive those CITES tags in person should you desire to do that. We will verify that you have completed your online harvest report before you're issued a tag. It's your responsibility to provide that CITES tag when you are selling your alligator hide or carcass to a licensed buyer. That is your responsibility. Do not ship or transport your alligator across state lines without the CITES tag, unless you are actually in the act of being on the waterway, on the public waters, in the act of hunting, where you are actually traveling across state line waters. As long as you have that alligator properly tagged, you will be okay. If you leave your alligator in the possession of someone in another state without that CITES tag, you may actually be committing a felony. It is a violation of the Lacey Act to transport alligators and leave them in another state without that CITES tag. Arkansas and Louisiana allow Mississippi alligator hunters with properly tagged gators and the credentials of your license and your permit to be transported during the hunting process. The CITES tag is required if sold or processed out of state. Documentation. That CITES tag number stays with that alligator for its entirety. Once the alligator has been mounted or made into a finished product such as a tan hide, the tag may be discarded, but you must inscribe that tag number on the alligator or the alligator part itself. It can be placed in an indiscriminate location as long as it is on there and can be found. The CITES tag must remain with the carcass or the hide at any time that it is being shipped or transported across state lines. Any head part or skeletal part, as well as meat harvested from your alligator, must be documented with that CITES tag number.